Hi there, little buddy. How you doing? Sweet boy. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Monday. It's been a little time, and it's time to tell you about my cardiology results. Because it hasn't been all that long ago that I had to wear that heart monitor for 2 weeks. And I also had to get an echocardiogram at the end of that. At this point, the heart monitor has been some time ago. It's probably been a month or more. And I got the results on my patient portal recently, but I just got the phone call today to talk about the actual results. So I thought that I would share that. As a little recap, back in September, I started having these weird feelings in my chest. The best way I could describe it was like my heart maybe fluttering or a sensation of falling or something. At first it was like it happened once and I was like, that was weird. And then over time, it just happened more and more and more. And it was actually one of the contributing factors to me getting the Apple Watch, is because I was like, well, maybe if I could monitor that would be helpful. And it had really, it increased to the point where it was happening when it chose to happen. Sometimes it would happen for quite a while, pretty regularly for hours. And, one of the things that I've noticed in my life is that sometimes I'll have something wrong, and it might be, maybe even a somewhat minor thing, but I'll think about it, be like, what's up with that? I don't know what that is. And then the more you think about it, the worse it ends up getting. And then you eventually get it all figured out, and they're like, it was nothing, or it was stress, or, it's just the act of thinking about something that creates this circular motion of I'm thinking about it, and that makes it worse. And now that it's worse, I'm thinking about it. Anyway, I decided to see a cardiologist, had to wear the heart monitor, and I have the results. And it thankfully wasn't nothing, in the sense that, what I was experiencing was a real thing that was happening. The heart monitor I wore, it was always taking readings, but I could also hit a button when I felt it, which kind of put chapter markers in for the cardiologist to look at. And I was told that I was experiencing premature ventricular contractions. I think it is. It's PVC. So I was having PVC and then PAV or PAC, which is the premature atrial or atrium. I don't know what this is. Atrial contractions. So the ventricle and the is it aorta? I don't know. It's PVC, PAC. This is all very difficult for me to try and remember. However, and the key takeaway here is that the amount that I was experiencing falls within what they would consider normal range, 1%. 1% of the beats or whatever were, problematic. And because of that, they said, you're fine. And my echo was fine. They said, you're fine. The worst that this is it can be bothersome. Lots of people have these, but most people don't ever feel them. So the fact that you can feel them is kind of weird, but it's not a problem. It's just, if it bothered you, you could take a beta blocker. And then they also talked about the fact that you could take a beta blocker, but we'd have to talk about that because your heart rate is so low that we'd have to be a little specific about how we worked with that. So, the good news for me is that there's been so many times where I've went on these little health journeys, and at the very end of it, I'm told there's literally nothing wrong with you. It's just stress. And I hate that. I hate that so much. So this time I feel a little bit better, just in the sense that it wasn't nothing. The thing that I'm feeling is real. It's weird that I'm feeling it, but it's real. It's an actual thing. So I can live with that. I'm okay. And now that I know that, and I know that I am fine, I've been, checked out, hopefully I'll just, very subconsciously calm down and my symptoms will subside. That's my hope. That's kind of what I suspect will happen, because that's been what has happened with some other things with my body as well. So that's the good news. The good news is, after being checked out by cardiology, I'm gonna be fine. Everything is looking good, and I'm happy to share that news. I am. I have felt weird, that all of that is very new, but it seems like I'm okay. The other thing that I wanted to talk about today is this. It's the day. 3 years today. 3 years today. And to be honest with you, I have felt, I leading up to today, I think I would have told you that I felt good, in the respect that, like, it's not a super, super sad thing for me now. It's been 3 years. I feel like at the time that everything happened, I handled the grief very well. And, I think that every year that has passed, I've been able to look back on things and remember positive times. But I did want to, and I honestly, I probably wouldn't have even pointed out the anniversary this year. But it's been a little difficult for me this year, actually. And the reason it's been difficult this year is that I have been catching up on the old timeline. And that has made it a little difficult for two different reasons. For one, I'm seeing Sagan again, very regularly. Like, I'm editing some of this old footage and he's in it. And it's very weird. And there's something different about video too. There's something different about video. Like, photo is one thing, but when you see video and you see something moving, you see your cat moving, alive, happy, like, that's just a weird feeling. So that's been difficult, just to, like, be working through this stuff again. But I think the big thing, honestly, is the fact that I'm almost done. That's been hitting me really hard lately. Like, I really don't think I would have talked about the anniversary of this. I really don't. I think I would have just, thought about it day of myself and not talked about it on the vlog. But it's been on my mind a lot lately, just because of the fact that, like, I really have just a few days left of the old footage. And I think that there's just this feeling in the back of my head of, like, oh, this is it. You've been sitting on this for a long time. And it's been so long that, like, I don't even remember, what I shot or anything. So it really feels new. Like, when I sit down and I edit it, like, it feels new. And that's a little hard to swallow, actually. Like, this feeling of knowing that, like, when I'm done editing this stuff, like, there is no new material to see. There's nothing I'm gonna stumble across, Like, I've at that point, it'll just be like, if I come across something I haven't seen in a while, but, like, as far as there being new material, like, this is it. It might be a weird comparison, but I kind of compare it a little bit to when I played Mother 1, the first Mother game, Earthbound Beginnings now. I played it years and years ago, but, like, I had never bothered to play through it, and I think part of it was, like, maybe protecting myself a little bit of, like, this is a game series that I really, really loved, and I had already played Earthbound millions of times, and I played Mother 3 a handful of times, and I was like, when I finally play Mother 1, there is no new material, and it kind of felt bittersweet to play it, because I was like, oh, I finally experienced it. It's kind of a similar feeling of, like, when I finish editing these vlogs, like, I'm not going to see any new footage of him. Like, this is it. And that's made me a little sad. That's definitely made me a little sad. So I've decided to, that I wasn't going to mention it, but I decided to mention it today because that has been on my mind. And leading up to today, like over the past few months, I felt fine. And even in the past few weeks, I felt fine. But like as I'm getting closer to finishing the timeline, knowing that I'm like a few days away, it's weird. Like closing the timeline is exciting. It's great. It's like, cool, I'm finally living in the present. But it also means closing a chapter of my life that I have been, holding on to for a while. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Anyway, all right. That's it. Thanks for watching. I'm so excited, by the way. I've needed to get all this old stuff done for a long time. And I think, there's going to be a bit of a celebration getting it all done, but I also think that I'm probably going to have myself just like a tiny little cry, knowing that there's not going to be anything else to see. But that's okay. It's all right. I'll be okay. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Thanks for watching. Let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?